heading into the top 8. Let's get some hype in the chat because now we're running it off. Greninja against Rosalina and Luma.
Oh, there we go. For a second, Solo was on both camps. Alright. Wow. Very quick start of the game already. Luma already dead in the first 20 seconds.
Yeah, this is the best potential for Greninja to put out as much of damage because we saw that Solo likes playing around the Luma and using it as an active shield for all those maybe shurikens that heads towards her way, but
yeah, using like walls practically and like being more defensive to protect the Luma and also keep the Luma as like not just a shield, but like it's practically like a wall of pain because if the opponent like tries to punish the Luma, like Rosalina's right behind or could be punishing afterwards.
Definitely in the same way around, but of course if you are dealing with a back air on the edge with Greninja, then you're going to take the stock, and that's the first one for iStudying.
Wow, you can already tell iStudying is trying his best this time. He's played a lot of tough sets, and you know, it's honestly kind of crazy how many people have been doing pretty well against iStudying, and now the players have just been improving and starting to get like iStudying, getting under his skin, just knowing how to just take stocks out of him.
Pushing it to the furthest potential, and Solo proving that he can also do it, taking a stock off iStudying. But now, Solo lost his Luma, getting a little bit of
this is a tough situation. This is Rosalina. There's no Luma to protect you while the up B is going. Oh,
yes, nice. Neutral air hit as well.
And yeah, a lot of these cases, it seems like iStudying is trying to platform camp or like position himself in platforms to avoid the Luma now, which he was actually not really doing before. He's like, I guess, adapted to other players on how to do that.
It's kind of a very different playstyle, but I think from that stock specifically, he saw that iStudying was slowly waiting for Solo to figure out where he was going and where Luma was going as well. And afterwards, when he saw the potential of like breaking each other apart and just focusing on Rosalina, he gets his damage done and it kind of goes away to get a better grip on when he can fully potentially, you know, take his damage to the Rosalina instead of the Luma.
And like Solo is still not giving up the fight, even a stock behind. He's been growing. He almost like killed iStudying in like 2 or 3 interactions.
Oh, this is definitely his top spot, but I wanted to say if he gets his kill right here, we might have an even game again. And Solo takes
a really tough set for both players, honestly. It seems like.
Yeah, it's the first one, and not only that, it's in loser. So it's tournaments. You know, your tournament life is on the line. Of course, being the first game.
Ooh, and the
you wouldn't say no how they would get a comeback, but now going to game 2, returning to Battlefield. Let's see how Solo might react or might take his learnings from game 1 over to game 2.
Yeah, it's honestly.
Whoa! Well, never mind, Cutterella, never mind, because iStudying can also just do that.
Was that a DI-in combo or was that just true?
I cannot tell.
I think he
maybe
just like
both.
covered. He maybe covered like both Luma and air dodge, and like he did. That was just like a very quick stop.
It was very quick, very unexpected, but as we say in Smash, we take those, and you need to continue this momentum because this is breaking. This is maybe
going forward. Solo's already doing so much damage. That was such a quick bounce back.
Yeah, and Rosa can potentially close off these stocks quite early.
And just as I was saying, a bounce back. iStudying is keeping the vertical pressure. It's a very vertically focused game. Even if they like might go for some diagonal angles or just positioning horizontally, there's just a lot of
action, action going on.
Yeah. Ooh.
And you think you already see it in the playstyle. There's more grabs coming from the Greninja, and not so less, you know, having a effort to go, you know, full in because you're a stock ahead. You don't need to. You just have a time for yourself. But Solo reads it well and, you know, covers the up smash with the Luma. Great play from Solo. So he's definitely not out yet,
yeah,
but it's still difficult.
Platforms to move now more, like shifting how he was going before, because iStudying was using his Greninja awareness to kind of use platforms, because that's the thing he was struggling with against, especially like an actual egg, because he went FD last game, and it didn't seem very favorable for him. But now he's at least getting to use his platforms, you know, battlefield's pretty comfortable.
For both players, I think this is definitely a good thing. To get out of the up airs, to get out of any sort of tilt move, and make sure that you're staying, you know, alive for the longest potential out there.
Yeah, at the right range to avoid like unreactable burst options. Like with Greninja, like obviously he has to go slow aerials, but they're very good, and like he can just jump or cover everywhere. I guess the floaty, like Rosalina, you gotta be aware of how you use your jump.
Oh, I wasn't thinking that was going to hit, but
yeah, I don't know.
Or eventually that iStudying could bring it back to its up B, but
yeah, I think that was.
It was just enough.
Yeah, it was very close there, but it just seemed like he was panicking, or maybe he wanted to like grab ledge later to avoid getting spiked, but it didn't. Unfortunately, it didn't work out.
Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of just yeah. I feel like iStudying has been like letting Solo get away with all these jumps, but to be fair, they're very scary jumps.
They're very scary, and they can lead into so much more damage as well. If
Especially
eventually
with
one hits, of course. But I think it's fairly even, given that Solo was kind of ahead or like behind in this game.
And if you think about how this game started,
yeah,
off of like iStudying getting like a really early kill, Jesus.
Oh, let's see. Great recovery from Solo, making it back, because it looked like he wasn't making it back on the stage.
All these nair trades, yeah. iStudying really shouldn't be. Oh dear, yeah.
Solo needs to take it like slow, because in 114 on Luma, most kills like the forward air, like the back air, maybe even an up smash. Oh yeah, I think the up smash also kills Rosalina at this time. And I think you want to have the Luma around as well.
It's definitely very tight here, because now at this percent, it's really hard to like easily confirm on Rosalina now, and mainly has to go for like vertical options, like maybe like juggling, but like with Rosalina, she can like protect herself. And
okay,
still Innis.
Good DI from Solo as well.
Also just covering at ledge, it has so much range. And
okay, having the jab set up with the Luma ready as well on the edge.
Wow, just that's the positioning, jumping down, and interesting.
So we're going to see the different stage. This time PS2, but I'm not really sure who's favored in this matchup for this map.
I wouldn't know for sure, but I've seen Solo use PS2 in general, not even just with Rosalina, like pretty well, and he gets wins off of it, and he's very consistent on it.
Well, there's already a better start than the last one, opening it up with 71 damage onto the Greninja.
Oh, and yeah, getting the little Luma nair there just to get out of disadvantage, resetting neutral, just positioning out of that like bad spot in the corner. Yeah, like especially with the high jumps, Rosa has the really good like options that somehow like they beat out, like for example water shuriken. Yeah, just
I think it's just a lot of neutral, because both these players want to take the lead in this game, but of course this being PS2, fairly even.
A lot of just micro spacing. And like the crazy thing was that like I'm starting to notice Solo. It's not that he's getting away with stuff. It's just that like he's positioning his Luma in like ways where see, now he can't get edge guarded that easily unless he's
well, iStudying needs to cover it, right? Or needs to pay attention towards the Luma placement, because it could definitely fire back like we saw in the last match.
Yeah.
And I think that throws iStudying maybe a little bit off, or takes a lot of energy to also control the Luma placements as well.
And that's why he can't trade or afford to be right above the Luma. And as you can see there, the stock is taken by the Luma there.
And I think towards how longer the game continues, the more that Solo maybe might find his placement a little bit better with the Luma as well.
Yeah, he might get like more consistent and like position according to how iStudying has been playing. And yeah, it's definitely not safe to like let a Rosalina like just set up that long and like give them that much time to just learn how you play.
So true. But I'm very curious, because I wanted to say the Water Shuriken is a good option to get eventually the Luma out of the way.
Especially if you already like put like a little damage on the Rosalina's shield, it will literally always hit the Luma out of it. And yeah, see, that's why he doesn't go for it like instantly, because of the threat of the downbeat.
Yeah.
It's obviously it's a mix-up, because if you throw out that downbeat too close up, you'll get punished hard for it.
Well, iStudying not finding any stocks at this point. The Rosalina on 166%. I'm sorry. That's a lot of numbers right there.
Yeah, and I'm wondering when iStudying is going to get a kill off. This is seeming much more tough in PS2.
I mean, one flick of the tongue and he maybe would do it. But of
down
course,
there, wow. Like
Luma can also just act the second time.
And that also covered ledge roll, because like both of the like downward hitboxes were positioned right at the right spots. Like it was good coverage in general.
Very good coverage indeed. But now it's a question for iStudying how to come back into this game, because you're down a stock, you're down an entire percent. It's difficult, and you're getting hit by this Rosalina and Luma at the same time.
And you're noticing Solo is starting to use those star bits just to keep iStudying off of that wall, just like forcing iStudying to get in on him, and then punishing him hard for it, and then like cornering him in the ledge.
And it's kind of the same thing that we saw happening in the second game, where iStudying kind of took a little bit of a break on his game style, because you shouldn't really go in as much when you're in the lead. And I think I see it in Solo's playstyle as well, getting a little bit more neutral ground, getting a little bit more of those Luma conversions with the star bits as well to rack up some damage and go for the convincing kill move later on. And it's panning out pretty good.
Yeah, and what's panning out is what I noticed is like, since Rosalina has really like is floaty, it has good jumps, like can do pretty well when going vertically somewhere. See, like positioning out the Luma to avoid getting edge guarded or taken aback at like.
That's a good play. That's a good play. Okay, the Luma is now gone, so maybe perhaps that iStudying can take it out in a couple of seconds. Upper.
Yeah, it should be back in there. And Luma's back, yep. Yeah, that's another thing to keep track of. It doesn't matter if you kill the Luma, if the Luma's just in the right spot and you don't react to the Luma coming back.
I mean, at this point...
And the trade-off, see? Like, the Luma actually just protecting Rosalina here, and still, that almost could have killed iStudying. It could have just been the game, and another up smash from the trade there. Like, Rosalina and Luma, it's like... It's tough, because, like, for example, even if it, like, you don't have the same fake combos Ices has, like, Rosa has, like, insane edge guarding pressure and, like, ways to just keep the opponent vertically that, like, for example, a character like Ices wouldn't.
I have a different kind of approach to it as well. No, I think you're definitely true. It's the edge guarding, it's the punish game. You always need to pay attention to Luma, because Luma is doing something on the stage. And that's so cool to see that Solo is utilizing this Rosalina and Luma play to the fullest of potential. And now we're seeing a more even kind of game, hitting the up airs 3 times in a row, maybe the 4th one?
Yeah, iStudying going for the multitasking attempt here, just like literally hitting both of them at the same time. The up air, you know, being a multi-hit's pretty good to do that. And the back air, very low, getting the edge guard off to cover the low recovery.
Yeah, that's a great prime of iStudying, and I think this is the opening that he needed, because he was down the last game quite a while. You know, getting up to 160%, and now, you know, getting that early lead makes him, you know, more familiar with like the second game. You know, having your neutral ground, having the water shurikens, and eventually finding your opening on Rosalina to maximize the damage.
And the jabs, he has to really be careful how he's like positioning himself when, you know, taking advantage. If the Luma's behind him or right next to him, he needs to make sure his combo actually gets off, and he can, you know, get the pressure down without the Luma interrupting him. Luma interruptions are very difficult to deal with or sometimes react to.
Because you think, oh, yeah, now I got the Rosalina. Well, you need to deal with Luma as well, of course.
Yeah.
So, great pressure from Solo on this edge.
Good nair into the, wow.
Okay, good recovery, getting back, but... Ooh.
Covering a lot of space with just like that Luma position back with the wow.
That was great. I have no other word for that. It was just great play from Rosalina, or from Solo.
Oh, I can't say for sure, but that looked like a down-angled Luma F tilt into down smash or something. That was pretty tight. Yeah. Definitely seems like iStudying is still focused on this game, but yeah, iStudying has a lot at stake here. He has to really play his heart out and just play his mind out just to take that Game 5 situation, like...
Well, I think his approach right now is really good, just keeping the water shurikens going, and now having an opening to fully focus on the Rosalina and potentially getting, you know, a lot of damage out of these couple of up air strings that he might have.
Yeah, but you need to be careful. Like, for example, the reason why Solo didn't die there was because he's such a floaty and light character, so like the confirm into up smash is not gonna connect as easily, and also you can just shield sooner, like later percents.
And of course, we've seen Solo surviving it until 166 and still having or closing out a stock as well. So I don't count him out of it, but that's a strong hitting forward air.
Yeah, the forward air not only just killed both, like, no, he like covered both the Luma and the Rosalina. It has so much range, and despite it being slow, it just has the coverage to just, like, I guess punish like hard what's loose. Yeah, Solo's Rose has been doing.
Yeah, it's definitely it looks like a win con in the matchup, you know, for the damage. But of course, the dash attacks and the neutral airs are also hitting pretty hard on the Rosalina and Luma.
Yeah, iStudying is definitely like making this much harder to bring to a close game.
But I think they also you know, keep their patience, because we're not running into the like timeouts, but it's still a pretty long game. Yeah. Compared to the first ones where it went by like a rush, and I think it's great because
iStudying cannot afford to play quickly like that, because he would just risk losing the entire set here and then being taken off of top 8. So it would be very rough for him.
Well, and now we see the last stock for both of these players, but Solo, of course, in the lead, might, you know, close it out right here if he can gather some more percentage on the Greninja. But
very good awareness just to like be able to know when to tech roll that and just like position back to the down throw into Luma up tilt. Like a lot of just good Luma placements here already. And iStudying just doesn't let up on his like keep away pressure too, like using very good position backs and like
he's covering all the landings and he's covering all the other options with the water shuriken, and I think it's great to see it makes the game so much more, you know, convincing as well, and so much more even.
Good. Yeah, I noticed. Oh, that actually hit.
Thing indeed. It's I think both of these characters, like we said in the first game, have, you know, both really good things for them heading into Battlefield, but also having like some more struggling ways of dealing with these platforms. But let's see who gets these first damage and first stock taken.
Yeah, and you're already noticing a bit of a shift there. They're less hesitant to play slower for this first game. They're scouting each other. They're looking for what they want to go for against each other. Like, they know, of course, their game plan. They know like the win condition, but they want to see what the other players likes to go for and will be doing in neutral.
Definitely. And I mean, now heading into game 5, of course, you need to consider that the pressure is a little bit, you know, covering, because for these players, there's no another loser's run. This is the loser's round 1. The player who is losing is going home as the 8th or 7th place on this tournament. And of course, you want to continue on your streak that you're having.
And already, this is seemingly this could be down to the wire later in the set here. It's already, wow, a minute in and no like
no major damage, no major like leads at all. Now, well, now
yeah,
he lost his Luma, but still, it's not the biggest deal. Oh, almost.
Yeah, see, already escaping, making sure to not tech roll in or miss tech roll out, you know, to avoid that. Ooh, yeah, forward airing that Luma is actually not that bad of an option, is what I kept noticing.
No, because when he fires up the water shuriken now, I think that the Luma might actually be flying already. Yeah, that's great potential for iStudying to take another stock, but
ooh, that was
you could also get jab.
Yeah, because I think he did a whole jab in like disadvantage somehow. He's been doing that a lot on players during this whole MCon series. It actually works pretty well.
I mean, he tried to punish it with the dash attack, but Solo was ready, you know, answering with an up smash, but also iStudying reacting to that as well, seeing how much, you know, they play against each other or how much, you know, interaction is happening. And
so much just happened in that one small interaction, just being pressured during by like walking in with a run-up shield on someone shielding, then tomahawking into like the up smash.
There's so many inputs that that were taking place there, but Solo taking the first stock of this game on Battlefield.
Yeah, it just goes to show like their awareness in like neutral and like they just know what they have to do. And it's just mainly just figuring each other out as players and just abusing each other's like weaknesses, you know.
Wow, it's just it's the tiniest of mistakes, because there as well eventually Greninja or iStudying find the down tilt even before there. It was so clean, or it looks really easy for to see, but it's like narrowly connecting as well and taking the stock into that matter, making it again a more even game.
Applying is very different, and these players have played each other countless times, and like you can notice immediately that yeah, the brackets before were almost not as comparable as the ones we've seen so far. That like right now they're pretty much trying to get their peaks out. They're probably really tired from the sets already, and now they're just trying their best to keep that not the autopilot. They can't really afford to actually use their autopilot here because the players are all so good.
Well, like you maybe say in My Hero Academia, you need to go beyond, plus and beyond. You need to show
plus
off
ultra,
plus ultra. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm mixing up so many animes right now because this is so much hype happening. For me, at least, there's so many things that can go to either way to either players
It could
right
be a
now.
TBC moment for sure. Like this could be last stock, last hit, but we won't know until the end. You know, until the victory screen shows up.
But what I wanted to say that these players are putting out the maximum of efforts to closing out these stocks and making it through the back end, of course.
I think Luma was reversed during that jab. Like it was like a back jab.
I think so, but there she hits it. Nice and easy. Oh,
ooh, yeah, positioning the jab there. Oh,
got it there, but we need to complement the spacing as well, and also the shoot usage against the Luma as well from iStudying.
And we're almost at 2 minutes, and they're only now getting close to their last few stocks. Oh my god.
Oh, let's see if this water shuriken is hitting, and it does.
And
not
we're
connected
down
to the down
to the wire.
B, and we're down to the XO wire. Last stock, last hit. We love to see it. You know, is the frog going to kiss the princess, or is it the other way? Let's find out.
And now we're gonna just see, yeah, just iStudying needs to get the edge guard off here, or he's gonna like regret it, because then the moment like neutral resets, he can just get punished really hard.
I mean, this is already a good beginning because Luma is away, so you have more direct hits. Okay, gets the grab, maybe for there, or just missed it barely.
He did an IRR forward, or maybe trying to catch something, but I don't know. That might have been a mistake.
Perhaps, but of course the pressure is now on because this is the stock. This is your tournament stock. It's do or die time. And both these players currently pretty high.
One little mistake from iStudying side, and it just could be it.
Ooh, okay, both taking center stage.
This is practically
hitting.
kill percent. He needs to be very careful here.
Okay, Luma is in place, not hitting. Okay, neutral air is.
Solo not letting up, being patient with his positioning and almost getting the stock there.
Oh my god, it's barely almost killed. But
and
not quite
positioning
there.
back with
Okay.
the forward throw, and now positioning the Luma at ledge here. And the jab.
It was
Oh,
an
that
amazing placement for Luma, but unfortunately it wasn't hitting.